A Democratic congressman has said he will file articles of impeachment against U.S. President Donald Trump. Steve Cohen from the southern state of Tennessee said Thursday that he's taking the action because of the president's handling of the racially charged violence last weekend in Charlottesville, Virginia.
I've had Republicans tell me that they have serious concerns about this president's mental facilities, capabilities, and his ability to lead. They are afraid to publicly say that because of their districts.
The issue is unlikely to gain traction. The leader of the Democrats in the U.S. Congress, Nancy Pelosi, earlier this week effectively ruled out impeachment for the moment. The fact impeachment is even being discussed shows how white-hot this issue remains. And the president is stoking the controversy. Trump tweeted Thursday, "Sad to see the history and culture of our great country being ripped apart with the removal of our beautiful statues and monuments. You can't change history, but you can learn from it. Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, who's next? Washington, Jefferson? So foolish." The clashes in Charlottesville, which killed one and injured dozens more, came as far-right groups protested moves to take down monuments to figures from the Southern armies. The American Civil War took place more than 150 years ago when the Confederacy tried to secede from the North with the aim of continuing slavery. There are more than 1,500 memorials to Confederate leaders and generals across the U.S. To avoid repeated violence between far-right groups and counter-protesters, cities are accelerating plans to remove many of the statues.
I'm fighting for the right for this monument to stay
what does it
as
say
a memorial to veterans.
The Confederate States of America.
These are neo-fascist, neo-progressive Marxists who don't represent me or anybody else. The majority in Florida wants to keep these monuments.
And your group doesn't represent me either.
While the president's words angered many, he found some support from those in the Republican Party.
Some of the groups there were, the KKK and neo-Nazis, but there were also a lot of, just people normal people, not even necessarily in the conservative end of the spectrum, who don't want to see these historical monuments removed.
So why is the president keeping this controversy alive? There may be votes in it. A new poll shows that 62% of Americans believe the monuments should be left alone. Fewer than a third think they should be taken down. African Americans are split on the issue, with 44% thinking the statues should stay and 40% saying they should be removed. Chief White House strategist Steve Bannon said in a magazine interview that he thinks the dispute will win votes for Republicans, saying, "I want them to talk about racism every day. If the left is focused on race and identity, and we go with economic nationalism, we can crush the Democrats."
Too early to say how the controversy will affect the president's fortunes, but Thursday showed that it's likely to keep going.
So, Toby, what happens next?
This issue of these political clashes is likely to remain forefront on people's minds, with a so-called free speech rally being held in Boston this weekend. Counter-protesters are calling a far-right meetup and are promising to turn up. Ominously, both sides are warning their supporters to be ready for violence. If there are clashes, we'll have to see how the president responds.
All right, Toby.